Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Newmarket Racecourse here on Saturday. It is July the 14th, 2018. I'm going to look at almost all the races on today's program from Newmarket, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for racecourses around the world, and join me next Friday here on YouTube for my Saratoga opening day preview video. I will look at all the races on day one of Saratoga, and it's going to be a good opening day card, so go check that out. But today's card from Newmarket is great card. I think you can make some money with it. I'm going to look at almost all the races except race number 4, the 350, or excuse me, the 250, because it's just a very tough 2-year-old race, and I just don't feel confident giving out a tip in that race. So the other 6 races, you'll be getting a tip. So let's get on to it. A lot of races to get to, a lot of horses to talk about. The first race from Newmarket, the 105, it's the Group 2 Superlative Stakes. It's a Group 2 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $108,000. This race is for 2-year-olds only. Fields of 7 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs here on the July course. My top selection, I like the number 3 horse, Certain Lad. I'm going to go 317 in the tricast of the trifecta. 317 tricast trifecta. Top selection of the 3 horse, Certain Lad, 5-1. Charlie Bishop is on this McCannon trained 2-year-old colt. This horse's most recent outing came over the Curragh on the 30th of June. 6 furlongs in the Group 2 Gaines Railway Stakes. This horse finished third by 1 3/4 lengths. The winner, Von Beethoven, just ran a little bit of a better race there, but he was coming at the end. He's the kind of horse that should really like the 7 furlongs or to a mile trip a lot better than the 6 furlong trip. Before that, at Haydock, 14th of June, 7 furlongs in a Class 4 novice. He won by head. He quickened up nicely, and he was in the right spot at the right time. Very nice race for this horse there. And then the 21st of May at Redcar, 6 furlongs at a Class 5 novice auction. Horse won by 3 3/4 lengths, quickened up nicely, and just had a very nice, easy victory there. He's a winner of 2 out of 3. Like I said, coming back to the 7 furlong trip today, he should really do well. 5-1. Watch out for him. I'll be all over him at post time. So to recap my selections for the first from Newmarket, the 105, it's the Group 2 Superlative Stakes as a top selection. I'm going to use the 3 horse Certain Lad. I'm going to go 317 in the tricast, the trifecta. So now let's get on to race number 2 from Newmarket. The second race, the 140, it's the Bunbury Cup handicap, Class 2 handicap, going for a purse of $162,000. I use the American currency because it's just a little bit easier for me to use that instead of the British pound. So if you're ever wondering, occasionally I do get the comment, oh, the prize money, you're giving out the wrong prize money. No, it's just in the American dollar, not the pounds. Just shut up. This race is going for 3-year-olds and upwards here. Field of 20 horses going the distance of around 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs here on the July course. A very tough race. I'll give you 3 horses that I think can win, and they're all like decent odds, so if you do an each-way wager on them and one of them wins, you'll still make your money back. The 3 horses I like here are the 3 horses Mubatism, the number 9 horse here, Tupi, and the number 17 horse here, Masham Star. So 3-9-17 for me. The first horse I'm talking about is number 3 horse Mubatism. Dominic O'Brien is on this William Haggish trained 4-year-old gelding by Arcano. Horse's most recent outing came about 2 months ago now at Haydock. 12th of May, firm ground, 7 furlongs in a Class 1 listed stakes. He finished second by 3/4 length. First start with blinkers really did help him there. He quickened up nicely. He just missed, but it was a decent effort for this horse. Even here with heavyweight, I just like his chances a lot. Before that, Chelmsford, 6 furlongs in a Class 2 conditions. Horse finished third by 1 3/4 lengths. He wasn't going to catch the winner, but for his first start off a break, he ran okay. And then at York, in the City of York Stakes last August, 7 furlongs. Horse finished 11th by 7.5 lengths. Really hit the wall. He just never really got into it. And then before that, in the Minstrel Stakes at Curragh, 7 furlongs, July the 16th. This horse finished 7th by 4 lengths. And again, he was under the ride most race, never really got into it. But, into his 4-year-old campaign, he's really, something's changed. He really started to really improve. And with the blinkers, he really improved even more. I think he's sitting on a big run here. And at 7-1, I'll do a small each wager on him, so watch out. Another horse I like here is 9 horse Tupi. The old man here, 6-year-old gelding. Pat Dobbs is on this one for Richard Hannon. This horse ran a week and a half ago now at Windsor. 6 furlongs on Class 2 handicap. He finished third by 3 3/4 lengths. He closed up well at the end. It wasn't a bad race. Before that, though, at Royal Ascot, 6 furlongs on a Class 2 handicap. He finished 24th by 10 lengths, and he was never there. Didn't break that well, and he was just setting their heights a little bit too high first off a break. And then before that, he went to the 1st of March at Maidan. 7 furlongs and a handicap for 4-year-old plus. He finished 10th by 7 lengths. Another race he really was never into it. And then a handicap again at 6 furlongs at Maidan down the straightaway, February 17th. He finished 4th by 5 lengths. A little bit of a turn of foot at the end, but he still needed that extra kick. I think the 7 furlong straightaway trip is up this horse's alley, and at 20 to 1, I think he's another horse that's sitting on a good race. Less weight than his last run. Watch out for him. And another horse I like here is the 17, Masham Star, 20 to 1. Joe Fanning's on this one. This horse's most recent outing came on the 7th of July, last Saturday now, at Sandown, 1 mile in a Class 2 handicap. He finished 4th by 3 3/4 lengths. If he didn't have a wide barrier post draw, I think he could have won that day. He broke from 14 out of 15, and he was a little bit too wide, and he just couldn't get that good closing kick. But he ran better than he ran better than his post draw indicates usually, because you want to be drawn low at Sandown. Before that, at Windsor, 1 mile in Class 2 handicap, he won by 2 lengths there. He quickened up nicely and had a very nice victory on very dry ground. And then a few weeks earlier, Ayr in Scotland, 1 mile in Class 2 handicap, he finished 4th by 1 3/4 lengths. The ground was a little wetter than he probably liked that day, and it took a while for him to get going. But I think with a firmer ground here at Newmarket, at 20 to 1, I'll take my chances with him also. I think he's going to be sitting on a massive run also. So to recount my selections for the second from Newmarket, the 140, it's the Bunbury Cup. As the horses I'll be using here, I'm going to use the 3-horse Mubatism, the number 9-horse Tupi, and the 17-horse here, Masham Star. I'll do a small each way wager in all 3 of them, and I'm probably going to do an exacta box or a forecast box, whatever you guys call it, 3, 9, 17. So now let's get on to race number 3 from Newmarket. The 2:15, the third race from Newmarket. It's the feature race of the afternoon. It's the Group 1 July Cup. It's a Group 1 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $675,000. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 14 horses going the distance of ground of 1,200 meters or dashing 6 furlongs on the July course. The premier sprinting race of Europe, I think. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 12 horse, Sans Amali. I'm going to go 12, 14, 3 in the tricast of the trifecta. 12, 14, 3, tricast trifecta. My top selection is going to go to the 12 horse, Sans Amali. Paul Hannigan is on this trio called by Panis. Richard Fahey trains. This horse's most recent outing came the 22nd of June at Royal Ascot. 6 furlongs in the Group 1 Commonwealth Cup. This horse had a very good second place finish by a half length. He quickened up nicely. It wasn't a bad race at all there. Coming here to Newmarket with firmer ground again, which I think he'll like a lot. I think he's going to run a massive race. Before that, at Haydock, the 26th of May, 6 furlongs in the Sandy Lane Stakes. He won by nose. He just got there in the end. It was a good race second off the break. And then the Group 3 Pre-Sigia at Chunti, 6 furlongs on very waterlogged ground, April 13th. Won by nose. First start back from America. Another very good run for this horse. Out of the 3 so far this year, it was the least impressive, but he got the job done. I personally, I think the Commonwealth Cup was actually a better run than the Pre-Sig, even though he didn't win there. But as a 2-year-old, this horse, his last start as a 2-year-old came here in America at Del Mar, 1 mile in the Breeze Cup Juvenile Turf. He finished 9th by 3 1/4 lengths. He just hit the wall there. Very tight turf course at Del Mar, and a lot of horses just don't handle it. Which is when horses just don't handle the tight turns. Next start outside of Del Mar, they usually run massive races. This horse has run massive since the Del Mar races, and I also think the mile was a little bit too long for this horse. I think 6 furlongs here today should be up this horse's alley. And if you're wondering, Paul Hannigan and Richard Fahey, have they won this race? I think they won this race in 2011, 2012 with Mason, and Mason, I have a lot of money on him that day, and he won. And I believe Paul Hannigan actually won this race again in 2015 or 16, not with Richard Fahey, but the owner and trainer, the trainer and jockey have teamed up to win this race. So I think that's a good sign. And this horse, fits it to a T to run a big one. Since he's a 3-year-old here, he has a little bit of a weight break of 126 pounds. He's a good post draw. Watch out for him running at the end. Another horse I think can run a big one is the 14-horse U.S. Navy Flag. Rye Moore's on this one for Aidan O'Brien in the Coolmore Group. 3-year-old colt by War Frontier. This horse ran in the St. James Palace a few weeks ago at Royal Ascot, 1 mile June 19th. He finished ninth by 6.5 lengths there, and he just really weakened under the wire there. I just think the cut back to 6 should really be to this horse's liking. As a 2-year-old, he ran a lot better at the shorter distances. Routing, I don't think it was to his liking. Before that, Acura in the Irish 2000, he finished second by 2.25 lengths, and he just never really got there in the end. And then a long shot in the 2000 Guineas, French 2000 Guineas, the Poulet de Essai des Poulains. He finished fifth by 3 lengths. As you all remember, he did slip going around the false straight there, and he just really couldn't keep up with him there on that wet ground. But this is the kind of horse he should like the firm ground. Cutting back to 6 today, 5-1. He'll be getting a nice each way wager from me also, along with Sansamali. So watch out. So to recap my selections for today's third race, the 2:15 from Newmarket. It's the featured Group 1 Darley July Cup as a top selection. I'm going to use the 12-horse Sansamali as a top selection. I'm going to go 12-14-3 in the tricast or the trifecta. I'm going to do also a small each way wager in the 14-horse U.S. Navy Flag. So now to race number 4, the 250. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to give out a tip for this race because it's just a stupidly hard race. A lot of these 2-year-olds are making their first start, and you never know what they're going to do, and I just wouldn't feel confident giving out a tip in this race. So we're going to head over to race number 5 now, the 320 now from Newmarket. The 320, the 5th race, it's the Bet365 mile handicap, class 2 handicap, going for a purse of $54,000. This race is for 3-year-olds only, rated 81 to 100. Field of 9 horses, going 1,600 meters or 1 mile on the turf course. The July turf course. My top selection here, I like the number 2 horse, Curiosity. Gonna go 286 in the tricast of the trifecta. 286 tricast trifecta. Top selection, the 2 horse Curiosity. Gia Massé is on this Hugo Palmer train, 3-0 gelding by High Chaparral. This horse's most recent outing, like a lot of these horses that have run this weekend at Newmarket, came at Royal Ascot. 1 mile in a class 2 handicap. He finished second by 1.25 lengths, and he ran a massive race there. He just missed. He almost got the down under Ryder McDonald, another victory there, but he just still he just ran a little bit of a better race, but he was definitely second best there. Before that, here in Newmarket on the 5th of May on the Royal Mile, class 2 handicap going a mile, he finished second by a neck. Again, he ran a decent race first off the break. It wasn't a bad race there. And then class 2 nursery handicap in Newcastle, 1 mile last September, finished 7th by 8 lengths. He just hit the wall there in the straightaway. But I think coming here getting a mile, it's a perfect step down class from his last few, and I just like his chances a lot. Getting the veteran Massé up. Watch out for him to run a big one at 4-1. 4-1, not the best prices, but you're gonna have to take it. Hopefully in the European markets you can find a lot better price on him. Here in America, we're stuck with 4-1. So to recap my selections for the 5th, the 320 from Newmarket, it's the Bet365 mile handicap. Gonna go with the 2 horse Curiosity. Gonna go 286 in the tricast of the trifecta. So now let's get on to race number 6 from Newmarket. Race number 6, the 355 from Newmarket. It's the spot at Bedford Lodge Hotel British EBF Fillies Handicap. Class 2 Fillies Handicap going for a purse of $34,000. This race is for 3-year-olds, fillies only, which are EBF eligible. Field of 7 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs in a July turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to use the 5-horse Perfection. Going to go 5-1-3 in the tricast of the trifecta. 5-1-3 tricast trifecta. Top selection, the 5-horse Perfection. 2-1 Robert Haviland is on this John Gosden train, 3-0 filly by Dutch Art. The horse's most recent outing, first off, a little bit of a break of 5.5 weeks, came on this 22nd of June at Royal Ascot. 1 mile in Class 2 fillies handicap. He finished 5th by 4 3/4 lengths there, or she finished 5th by 4 3/4 lengths. This horse just couldn't get that good closing kick at the end. I think that race was just a little bit too tough. I think coming here to Newmarket, step down in class, I like this horse's chances a lot more. Before that 17th of May here at Newmarket, 7 furlongs Class 5 mains filly, horse won by 2 lengths with blinkers on that day, just quickened up nicely, and had a very nice victory there. And then before that, Wolverhampton, 7 furlongs on the Tapita in a Class 5 Fillies novice. Horse finished fourth by 2 lengths. A little bit too wide going 7/8 of a mile there. Just couldn't get that good closing kick. Had to save a little bit more ground. Also off a break. That wide poster didn't help. Then the last start of 2017 as a 2-year-old came at Linkfield, 7 furlongs, Class 5 Fillies novice. Horse finished third by 2.5 lengths. Stayed going that day. Didn't weaken out of it either, but then quick enough. Just stayed. I think here, step down in class. I like this horse's chances a lot. 2-1, not the best price, but you're gonna have to take it. Hit the TriCast to make some money with this race, or do or parlay everything with this horse. So to recap my selections for the 6th, the 355 from Newmarket's the spot Bedford Lodge Hotel British EBF Phillies handicap. Gonna go with the 5 horse Perfection. Gonna go 5-1-3 in the TriCast, or the trifecta. To race number 7 now from Newmarket, the 7th race, the 4:30. It's the nightcap. The 4:30. It is the Saeed handicap. Hopefully I said that right. Class 3 handicap going for a purse is $27,000. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards, rated 71 to 90. Fields of 6 horses going 2,400 meters or a mile and a half on the turf course. My top selection, I like the 4 horse Drill. Gonna go 4-2-5 in the TriCast of the trifecta. 4-2-5 TriCast trifecta. Top selection of 4 horse Drill. 3-year-old colt by Dancel. Gerald Massé is on the Sluka Kamani train. 3-year-old colt by Dancel. 4-1 here in America. The horse's most recent outing came the 27th of June at Salisbury. A mile and a half in a Class 3 handicap. Horse finished third by 8.5 lengths. Salisbury has a very unique, course, especially going a mile and a half. And I don't think this horse got around the race course well. He never really got into it. I don't think he liked the layout. I think coming here to Newmarket, which is not so quirky, I like his chances a lot more. Before that, Chelmsford, a mile and a quarter, Class 5 novice. Horse won by 2.25 lengths. Second start, facing older horses, was a success. He quickened up nicely and just had a very nice victory there. And then Chelmsford, again facing older horses for the first time, 1 mile in a Class 4 novice. Horse finished second by 2.25 lengths. Wasn't a bad race. He wasn't going to catch the winner Mutafini, but he ran around the race course well. Like I said, stepped down in class from his last race here, and not so quirky race course, should be to his liking. Mile and a half he should like also. Watch out for him at 4-1. Let's give Joel Massé, the veteran, 2 wins today. So to recount my selections for the 7th, the 4:30 from Newmarket, gonna go with the 4 horse Drill. Gonna go 4-2-5 in the TriCast, or the trifecta. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and join me the rest of the year here on YouTube for more previews from race courses around the world. Good luck, everybody.